Alright, today I'm reacting to Boys for
Pele
by Tori Amos, I believe is how it's pronounced. This was a Patreon request, so make sure to go join the Patreon down below. It's $4 a month. You get uncut reactions and you get priority requests as well. I don't know anything about this artist, don't know anything about this album. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it. It's like an hour and 10 minutes here, so I might have to split this into 2 videos, we'll see. But yeah, let's jump in. Alright, the first track is Beauty Queen / Horses. No clue what genre this is. Really don't know anything going into this. Okay. Runaway, part 2. Pretty stripped back. Pretty slow start. Okay. Kind of unsettling. Definitely some Kate Bush influence with the whispery kind of dramatic delivery. Weird effect on that piano. Interesting intro to start this off. Obviously just a piano and her voice for the entire time. There was some like automation of effects on the piano, which I thought was a little bit interesting, kept it a little bit fresh. I didn't love that, if I'm being honest. Like, it was all right, but I don't know, maybe I just got to get into these lyrics more to really enjoy it, but I have no idea what these are about. She's mentioned horses a bunch here, the beauty queen. There's a lot of imagery here. Yeah, like I said, didn't love it. I thought it got a little bit stale, a little bit stagnant, especially vocally with the melody. Like, it was pretty much seeing the same melody the entire way through. If she would have switched that up a little bit, it would have been a little bit more entertaining, but wasn't terrible either. We're still gonna give it the good rating. Just it's kind of low on that scale. I'm intrigued though. This is different. Okay. We're in the 1500s now? It's just kind of not great. It's just like dollar store Kate Bush to me. Okay. That was weird. I gotta be honest, I'm not loving this. I'm not loving this right off the bat. It just felt like it was chaotic for the sake of being chaotic. Obviously, you got the harpsichord in there, I think that is, which is a unique sound. It's not one of my favorite instruments, but okay. I feel like maybe it's just the minimalistic kind of nature of it that I'm not loving it so much. There was a guitar that came in for a little bit there, but both tracks have been pretty stripped back so far, and I don't think it's been to their benefit. I mean, her vocals are crazy. Like, she's doing crazy stuff vocally. There was a couple moments where it was a little bit maybe too crazy and a little bit on that kind of cringe side, but I respect it. It's just not, I'm not loving it right off the bat. We're gonna give that the mid. She's dead. Lizzie's dead. It's a good chorus. We're actually filling out the sound a little bit here. Okay, got a little trumpet in there. Okay. It's very Kate Bush, that higher part. I will say the lyrics are actually pretty good. Like, they're really unique. Okay, so this is describing a trip she had? Is that what this is? Which kind of makes sense with the bridge, because it's a little bit hectic here, a little bit unhinged and kind of just all over the place. I feel like this is completely out of my ballpark lyrically. I have no clue what's going on here. So maybe that's another reason why I'm not really loving it. But I will say I liked that more than the first 2 tracks, definitely. The sound was a little bit more filled out, a little bit more going on instrumentally. But it was still pretty minimal, still pretty stripped back. Definitely some Kate Bush isms in there with the higher part coming in, and just some pronunciations of words. It was very Kate Bush. We're gonna give that probably the good rating. What the heck? Crazy drums on this one. Okay. Love that bass. And then back to the chaos. What's happening? What the heck, man? That was chaotic. That was, you know what? I said, I'm going to take my statement back from earlier where I said this is a dollar store version of Kate Bush. This is like, it's not that. Like, it's pretty similar to Kate Bush. It's just like a more, I guess, just a more extreme version. Definitely a more experimental version. Definitely harder to get into. I'm not liking it as much as I like Kate Bush's stuff. That was definitely the best song. That's all I'm going to say. That's the best song. Drums were chaotic. Pretty much the entire track in general was chaotic. There does seem to be a lot of references to, like, Shakespearean literature, is what I'm kind of getting here. This obviously seems to be about some sort of relationship here. Maybe she wants to feel like the one in control in that relationship is what I'm kind of getting from it. It's given a boss girl. Is that the term? Girl boss. That's what it is. I'm an idiot. It's giving that. It's giving that kind of energy. Yeah, like I said, it's harder to get into than Kate Bush, definitely, but I feel like I am kind of getting used to it. That's easily the best song so far.
Can I have your sweater? 'Cause it's cold, cold, cold in my hole. Mr. Zebra, right into some confusion.
Okay, this is like a very theatrical.
She thinks she's guys of I'm a rushable, I syllable. Figure it out. She's
Ooh. Those little brass hits. Nice little interlude there, but it was that actually might be my favorite one musically. It was very theatrical, of course. It gave me kind of like, it's kind of Disney-esque, which is not always a good thing, but I think it fits there. I think it kind of works. That was good though, I liked that. We're just gonna keep moving. Nice little interlude.
Little blubber in my igloo, won't you just hold him? 'Cause it is watching my every sound I say.
I'd like to know if it's probably a real story. Like, this Marianne is probably a real person. Obviously she died. She's kind of in denial here. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm struggling with these lyrics. They're hard to interpret for me right now. This one may be a little bit more straightforward than the other ones, but still, like, the way she writes about it is such a unique way to do it that it's kind of going over my head. I feel like I am enjoying it more now than I was to start, but it's still a little bit hard for me to get into. I love those background vocals. They're kind of haunting. I do not like that pronunciation. It just gives me an ick, you know? Okay, that's my favorite instrumental so far, definitely. There's a couple vocal moments that I wasn't a big fan of, where I think I know she's playing into this kind of character, and maybe if I understood the story better, it would make more sense, but especially this part in this pre-chorus, the way she just pronounces that just rubs me the wrong way. Again, if I understood what was happening lyrically, it would probably make a lot more sense. But again, instrumental was great. Those drums were super, like, industrial sounding, I guess. No clue what these lyrics are about. Let's see what Genius says. Okay, they say nothing. They say absolutely nothing. Thanks, Genius. Thanks so much. Sings about a relationship, but not the relationship. In quotation, he was a light sneeze, not the flu. Guys would like to think they're the flu, but sometimes they're just a hachoo. That's a good I like that. Not one of my favorites, but still pretty solid. Let's give it the good. A light good. I wonder if this is her playing. I'm guessing it is. It said earlier that she was on the piano, so. I mean, she's writing about a lot of things that I feel are understandable. Like, it's just about a lot of relationship stuff, but she writes about it in like a really unique way with a lot of references and stuff that I don't get.
On the flying trapeze,
Oh.
got a peanut butter hand, but honey do drop in, I do drop in. Sweet,
It's a great piano part. Loving it.
Sweet, sweet, sweet. Get my own on a TV show. Asheray, 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 asheray. And if I lose my cracker
Yes.
in the tidal wave, I got a place in the woods. Rubber, rubber.
I'm loving this song. This one's great.
Both know it was a girl.
Like, even reading her quotes here, I still don't get the song. I still don't understand it. Both know it was oh, okay, I'm an idiot. We both know it was a girl. So she's referencing God right here, obviously. Jesus was actually a girl. Yeah, okay. Maybe I just gotta stop thinking super hard and just not overthink it, maybe. Because I feel like, yeah, that's pretty obvious now. I like the sentiment of this track. I'm getting into this now. I think I'm understanding her as a person a little bit better, kind of understanding the vibe that she's going for with these. And yeah, while it is still pretty stripped back and not as like grand as like a Kate Bush, I think the songwriting is really meant to be the forefront of this. That's my favorite track so far. It's a strong, good rating. This is also kind of like Fiona Apple a little bit too. I'm getting some of the same like vibes in terms of the sentiments and the themes being covered. With Fiona Apple, it was minimalist, but it was more drums and percussive than anything. And this is not as much percussion, but it's a lot more melody and piano and that kind of stuff, but it's still super minimal. So yeah, I think it's definitely more like Fiona Apple than Kate Bush. Obviously, I know that Fetch the Bolt Cutters came out after this, so I'm not saying this was influenced by Fiona Apple, but you know what I mean.
Are you blue? Thought we both could use a friend to run to with me.
So they have to hide their relationship here, maybe? And she's comparing it, but their relationship with Jupiter and Earth's, I guess. Beautiful.
Yes.
All right, my camera died, but we're back. We're going to continue with Hey Jupiter.
Thought we both could use a friend to run to.
That's another good one. I'm really actually getting into this now. Obviously, it's about a breakup here. I should have realized that earlier on in the album, but I'm a dummy, so I didn't. Yeah, she's comparing Jupiter and Earth to their relationship, I guess. She imagines that once Jupiter and Earth were in love billions of years ago, they were one and were orbiting together, then they separated, and now they orbit at different speeds, billions of miles apart. So that's a cool kind of way to say that, I guess, in terms of imagery and symbolism and stuff. So, I mean, I can see why that's the most streamed. It's pretty passionate and emotional. We're going to give that the solid good rating. One of the best ones so far.
Yes, I am the anchorman, dining here with Son of Sam. Gonna have it all here on
I love the phrasing of this piano. It's so good.
way down, way down, way down. She
Whew, that was amazing. Kind of similar to the last short little interlude, Mr. Zebra. Theatrical little piano piece, nice and short, nice and sweet. Throwing the choir in there too, spicing things up a little bit. Yeah, so it seems like here we're like at the darkest point of the album, way down. So maybe she was in a relationship with someone famous here. Gonna meet a great big star, gonna drive his great big car. She thought it was gonna be all just fine, but then it wasn't. And now we're on the way down. All right, let's keep going. Maybe the beginning of the album wasn't even that bad. Maybe I'm just kind of adjusted now.
It was my bullet. Don't take
This one's a little bit bluesy, a little bit jazzy. Hear that rasp? Love these little breaks too. Whew, this is great. Love this little subtle tinge of funk being added in. So good. I was gonna say it feels like it doesn't really fit with the rest of the album, but I think it actually does with the piano being in there, because I think we've had piano on pretty much every single track, so that's kind of the through line and what makes it feel kind of cohesive. Yeah, it's one of my favorites in terms of the sound. So yeah, it's gonna get the good rating. We're gonna keep going.
Said you had a double tongue. Talula, Talula, you don't want to lose it.
We're getting more guitar too as we go on. The Seinfeld slap bass in there. Okay, that was kind of a goofy little, I don't even know. It was, you had the slap bass in there, which was kind of goofy. I think it was goofy in a good way though. A lot of personality, a lot of character to that song. Talula, it was saying, Genius was saying, Talula, it's not like a specific person, but it's a representation of women that let themselves dance, apparently. So kind of just that feeling of being yourself, maybe, letting go. It's kind of a freeing track. It's definitely more upbeat compared to a lot of the other stuff on here. It was a little bit goofy, but again, I like the goof, you know? All right, let's keep going. I like how we're holding off here. Just letting the piano do its thing.
Down in the flames with every step, with every beautiful heel pointed.
See, I think it's those kind of tracks that I don't really love. Again, super stripped back, just piano and her voice. But it might just be the lyrical side again, if I knew what was happening lyrically here. I saw these lovely women ushering the men with the tears to the next place. Always connected to fire, always all of us trying to find our own fire. What? So these are the men, the devils, but they're disguised as, you know, angels, halos, and beautiful capes. So maybe she feels like she was tricked by someone. Maybe that's what's going on. I don't know. Again, I don't really know what's happening lyrically. I'm trying to figure this out. Not one of my favorites in terms of what was happening musically. Again, just a little bit too boring, a little bit too stripped back, but not terrible. We'll still give it the good rating. Just not one of my favorites.
Gotta tell you what I heard, that underwater city where she swims.
Love the attitude of this track. Just calling out this dude. Oh, maybe not. Agent Orange was a herbicide that the American military sprayed over Vietnam during the Vietnam War. Destroyed plants, animals, aren't the intended target humans. Maybe it is about a guy, but she's using this as kind of a metaphor for that. Yeah, that one was better than the last one, even though it was still just a piano and a voice. I thought the piano part was a little bit more interesting. Yeah, we've had a couple of those like short kind of interlude type tracks where they're pretty stripped back.
And a kick in your message from a donut.
There's been a lot of like themes of like deception and tricking. She's going full breathiness on this track. I love the bass. It always just sticks out when it comes in. Here's the planetary reference again. We had Earth and Jupiter earlier. Okay, so we've had Planetary references, we've had this idea of her not gaining weight before as well. Maybe that's something that was said to her in this relationship. But yeah, this is obviously a pretty bitter track here. I like this line. If I'm hanging onto your shade, I guess I'm way beyond the pale. Hanging onto your shade, maybe she's still kind of reliant on him. I mean, I'm definitely picking up on the themes and the things that keep popping up here and there. I haven't really put it all together in like a cohesive way in my mind yet. Yeah, that was pretty good. Let's keep going. We got 2 more tracks. 3 more, actually.
Hey, yes. Hey, yeah.
Wild vocal performance here.
Hey,
Got that bluesy feel, jazzy feel again. It's another one of those vocal performances I can't get into. I gotta be honest, I didn't love that track. It was another one of those vocal performances I just couldn't really get into. I feel like maybe she was overselling that vibe a little bit too much to the point where it just comes across as a little bit grating, a little bit annoying. Yeah, I feel like it's hard to find the balance between being eccentric and playing this character, and maybe it's not a character, maybe this is actually her, but putting your personality like out there, like turned up to 100, finding a fine line between that and then trying not to go overboard to the point where it's annoying. And that, again, is just a little bit grating, a little bit annoying for me. Even Kate Bush has done that at times. Even Fiona Apple, there was a couple times on that album where I think she just took it a bit too far. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely an angrier track. There's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of frustration here. Maybe that break kind of screwed me up because I was loving it before the break and then I had to stop, and now I'm back in, and now it's taking a little bit again to kind of get into it. So I don't know, it's kind of a disjointed reaction, but that was one of the weaker tracks. I'm gonna give it the mid. Yeah, just not one of my favorites.
Say you packed my things and divided what was mine. When you put in the damage, I don't make me scratch on your door. I never left pretty. When you put in the damage, get through, and now I'm
Such a boring track. That was not great. Really slow. I mean, I know it's supposed to be slow because looking at the lyrical content here, it's one of the more somber tracks, definitely. I don't know, there could just be more growth and just more standout musical moments. That was another track, I think I had that complaint about a track earlier where the vocal melody just got way too repetitive, and I feel like if she switched it up a little bit more, it would just keep it a lot more interesting. Like I said, the sentiment of the track is nice, and it's good lyrically, but the sentiment really isn't that nice because it's kind of a messed up, like, situation here. But musically, I think just so much more could be done. We're gonna give it another mid. Last track here. I'm sorry, it's just so boring. It's so boring, man. Is it over? I gotta be honest, not a great ending to this album. It's gonna get another mid. Mid-city over here. I gotta keep in mind that the whole album wasn't terrible. There's actually a lot of good songs on here, and I do respect the creativity of it a lot. I think just the actual quality and entertainment of the music kind of suffers because of that. This would definitely work better as a play. I feel like it feels like a play. It feels like a musical. Maybe with some sort of visual component, it would be a lot more gripping. But like I said, not the whole thing. The whole thing wasn't terrible. I don't like it as much as Fetch the Bolt Cutters, even though it's kind of similar to that. Don't like it as much as Kate Bush's stuff, but it is still pretty good, I guess. I do appreciate the writing a lot, and a lot of it went over my head, I know. So I know if I go back to this and I pick up more in terms of the writing, I'll probably enjoy it a little bit more, but it's just a lot of the tracks are super slow. A lot of them, the minimal nature of them, it's hard to keep me engaged. And I think you can do stripped back stuff and still keep it entertaining. I think Fetch the Bolt Cutters did that really well because that was pretty minimal for a lot of that as well. I think that the appeal of that though was kind of the visceral nature of it. I mean, it's still good. If I had to rate it right now, it'd still probably be in that like low 7 range. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Overall, still enjoyed it. Still a relatively positive experience on this first listen. Just a couple gripes that I have here and there. Yeah, let me know if I should check out more from this artist. She's obviously kind of in that same vein as Fiona Apple, Kate Bush, Spelling, I guess, even though Spelling's more recent. Again, keep in mind, just my opinion, just a first reaction. Could grow on me, could shrink on me, who knows. Go join the Patreon if you want. You can find this reaction uncut as well as all my other reactions, and this of course was a Patreon request as well. Voice for Pele, Tori, Amos. Not perfect, some moments here and there. Overall a positive experience, but didn't love it. All right, peace out.